Hey everyone, I'm Scott Stokely, and I am talking to Innova-sponsored junior player from British Columbia, Carver Whitford. How you doing, Carver?
I'm
Carver.
good.
How you doing, Carver? How about that?
Good. How are you?
I am doing fantastic,
That's
and
good.
I'm going to talk in a little bit about why we're talking or how we met to begin with, because I think it's a pretty cool story. But I want to jump right to like the elephant in the room, which is there's something about you that makes you one of the most unique disc golfers out there.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh,
Care to share or show?
yeah. Okay. So I only have four fingers. I got two on each hand, and I was born like this. That's just yeah. And disc
Okay.
golf comes easy to me.
Disc golf comes easy to you,
Disc golf comes easy.
which is amazing because disc golf doesn't come easy to most people.
Yeah.
But the reason I reached out to you is that I've been doing adaptive disc golf for years. Uh, I was working with a kid in Tyler, Texas, named Jay, who had played disc golf before, but he has something similar. I don't know if it's the exact same like medical term, but I mean it's similar enough where I think you related to him, right?
Yes, I did relate to him about
Yeah,
that.
and so I posted the pictures of him, and you through a friend reached out to me and said you wanted to get a hold of Jay and talk to Jay because, well, why don't you tell me?
I reached out to him because he is the same thing as me, or close enough to the same thing, and I thought it would be cool to talk to someone who also plays disc golf and has the same hands as me.
Yeah, you actually said it made you feel less alone.
Yeah, less alone. Yeah.
And I suspect he would have had that same response. And
Yeah.
I'm excited to talk to you about it. I mean, because you're a sponsored player right off the top. So
Yeah.
you're not a beginner. You've been doing this for years, but I would like to start before disc golf.
Oh, okay.
So when did you realize that I forgive me if I don't know how to phrase things properly. I never know what to say correct. Everyone's different. But when you realized you were different than other kids, like when did you realize that?
I mean, pretty young. I think like around grade two, so like 7, 8. I realized I was more like different than everyone else, but that didn't really matter because I am who I am.
Yeah, and well, I mean, and your friends don't care.
No, my friends don't care. They see me as a just another person.
Now I have to ask, and do your friends make jokes and tease you because like guys, especially boys, but guys in general, we rip on each other for everything.
Yeah.
Is that
Not kind of. Sometimes I know it's in a funny way, but not really. It's more just sometimes.
yeah? Well, when you wait till you get to college, you're gonna hear it because this is what guys do. I mean, guys rip on each other for everything. So you just blended with your friends, but were you into sports?
Well, I played soccer for like 4 years before I started playing disc golf, and I play basketball right now. That's another one of my hobbies, and yeah,
Well, when
that's
did you start disc golfing?
around when I was 6. I went out with my dad to the course a few times, and then I just fell in love from there.
So
Love
how,
it.
so when you started playing, you realized that you had bigger challenges than other players.
Yes, I did realize that at the start. It was hard for me to find a good grip that fit my hand the best when I first started, but then eventually I started getting used to it.
Can you show me what the grip is? Like what
Yeah,
grip
I'm
do you
gonna be
use?
showing you how I throw my forehands and backhands and putts. This is how I grip my forehand, just like this.
Flip it over.
I'm gonna throw one for you. This is how I grip my backhand. Top. This is how I putt.
Trying to visualize I mean, I teach disc golf for a living, and I'm trying to visualize. So you're basically going to get the same momentum you would off the index finger. It's just on a different part of the hand, but it's the same propelling forward.
Yeah, it's the same propelling forward, just on a different.
Do you have like, is your wrist mobility good?
Yeah, my wrist mobility is pretty good. It works out really well.
Because you told me that you throw like you get up to like 350, right?
Yeah, I can throw that far with a forehand because I mostly throw forehands.
Okay, so right off the bat, don't ever be dominant forehand or backhand. That's one of the first things I tell everybody
That's true.
In a perfect world, you want to be 50-50 with both, just because.
I have brought it over to 50-50 now.
Have you been? Okay, good. I'm going to lecture you if you're not, because that's part of like dominant players are they're at a disadvantage. I don't care who you are. So you figured out the grip right away. Do you feel like it affects your throw, or is there a trade-off, or do you feel like it completely compensates what you're able to do?
I mean, I think it affects my distance a little bit. I can't get it really as far as like all the other people out there, but like I think really distance is the only thing that it affects me by. It's only backhand with the distance that affects me.
But, so the sidearm you get plenty.
No, the sidearm I'm good, but the backhand is just the distance part.
Yeah, and because you were telling me this when we talked on the phone, like at 14 years old, 350 is kind of like par for the course. I mean, you're not like starting off with this gap that like, well, are you going to make this gap up? Like 350 is kind of within the range of where at 14 you can be. Like you want to get better.
Yeah.
Like if you're throwing the same distance in a couple of years, I would say message me and let's figure out like why, because you're supposed to get better after 14, but that's par for where you want to be.
The backhand would be the ceiling then.
Okay.
I feel like that's a part of my game that I could get better at.
Okay, I got you. So the forehand's coming along. The backhand has a ways to go.
Yeah, the backhand has a ways to go.
Yeah, well, that's kind of the part you have to work on the most, because probably one of the biggest mistakes players make. I'm always trying to be a teacher. I'm sorry, but one of the biggest mistakes players make is the thing they're best at. They prefer throwing because they're best at it, when like your time should be spent on the weakest part of your game.
Yeah, I've been spending a lot more time on the weaker part of my game. I'm going out to the course and only throwing backhand, or go to the field and only throw backhand.
So are you competing in tournaments?
Yeah, I compete in tournaments. I think I have one at the end of the month in Kamloops, my first tournament of the year. So.
Okay, so you're up in, I mean, is that just because it's cold up there? Or?
Yeah, I mean, it is pretty cold up here, but it's getting nicer. That's why I only compete later into the year, because it gets too cold.
Okay, so you're a fair weather player?
Yeah, fair weather player.
That's not supposed to happen until you get old. when I was younger, I could play when it was cold, but as I've gotten older, I've started to not want to play in the cold anymore. So, but I understand. So you went to Junior Worlds a couple years ago.
Yes, I did.
How did that go?
It actually went really well. I was in fourth place. I got fourth place. I mean, I was almost in first at one point.
Really?
Yeah, I got fourth place, and yeah, it was really fun. Met a lot of new people.
Yeah. So what are the other kids like? I mean,
they're kind of just the same as me. They're just like kids that like to play disc golf, and I really bonded over that with a bunch of them.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the common factor with disc golf. I mean, it's like, I guess it's probably anything where you share a love of something, then you bond over it. Like that's automatically part of a community. When did you get sponsored?
It was 4 years ago. I got sponsored by Innova.
So you've been with them for 4 years. That's a long time, it seems like, these days, for someone to be sponsored by the same company.
Yeah. Sometimes I forget how long I've been sponsored, because it's been that long.
That's cool. What do you like about them?
I like all the people, I guess, and I obviously like the discs, because I like the discs and the people.
Who do you talk to out there?
Oh, it's a bunch of different people.
Is there a team captain that you work with directly?
Not really. They're all in like the States and stuff.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if there was like a contact at Innova you would talk to get your discs and your packages.
Yeah, I think there is this person, but I just can't remember their name off the top of my head right now.
Oh, that's cool. So do you play juniors, or you play in other divisions?
Um, every other tournament, I'm actually playing advanced men right now. And then when I go to Junior World, I just play juniors. But every other tournament, I'm playing advanced.
So you're playing MA1.
I'm
So
playing everyone.
okay, so like yeah, like you're pretty much on pace at 14. It's actually, I'm sorry to say, it's actually really annoying because as you get older, you start to realize that kids are getting better younger and younger. Like
Yeah.
it used to be like if you were 14 or 15 years old, like I was like 5 divisions ahead of you, and now it's like I'm maybe one unless your name's Gannon.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah. So is this? I mean, is disc golf your favorite thing?
Yeah, disc golf is definitely my favorite thing. I mean, disc golf's just my favorite thing to do.
Is like so is touring part of the plan?
I mean, yeah, this year I think I'm gonna go down to the States for a few tournaments, but I think next year is when it's really gonna happen, the touring part.
Okay. But I mean, I'm thinking about more like as like future plans, like is like to get on the road in a sponsored RV and like actually tour.
Yeah, that's the goal. That's definitely the goal.
Okay, well, as long as your dad can't hear you, way more fun than going to college and sitting in a cubicle. He's not listening, is he?
No, he heard that one.
Oh, he did hear that one. Okay, what I meant was stay in school. I know. Parents hate me. I'm looking over my girlfriend's laughing because I give more parents this advice when they're like how can I support my kid's disc golf career, and I say pull them out of school and go on tour with them, and they're like don't say that in front of the kid. So but that is the plan. So like if you went to your career guidance counselor, you're in high school now or about to start?
Last year middle school.
Okay, so like when you go to your career guidance counselor and they ask you what you want to do, you're telling them disc golfer.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell them I want to be a professional disc golfer when I'm older.
I couldn't agree more. It's the right time in the sport to not just be a competitive player, but there's just the business of disc golf is, it is so massive. There is a massive industry around the sport. When you're in your 20s, especially, like that's when you want to go out and tour and compete because that's when you're in your athletic prime. But like, that's not the only career in disc golf. Like once you get off tour, there's a whole world out there of ways to make a living in the sport. If you love it, that's what you should do. So what about, do you feel like as a professional athlete, well, you're already a sponsored athlete. You're not professional. You're not playing for money.
No.
Like you're one division away from playing for money. Do you feel like as a professional athlete that you are representing other people that have challenges in their life, or do you just not even think about it? You're just a disc golfer.
I definitely think that I'm representing other people who have maybe a disability or something like that to show them that you can do anything. It doesn't matter what you have.
Right.
You can do anything.
Yeah, I would be like, honestly, I'd be like, I would get just wanting to fit in, but I would also be disappointed if you weren't doing that because there's a whole world of people out there that are afraid or that let challenges get in their way or that don't have that thing that you have. Like, I don't know if it's just like what you're born with or if it comes from your dad or your family. But there's something about you that's different because you aren't just allowing the world to come to you. You're going after what you want.
Yeah.
And that's actually unique, not you. That's just unique among people in general. Most of the people in the world let the world come to them and don't go after what they want, regardless of, any advantage they have. And you're kind of having to do something else and still do that.
Yeah.
So are you connected now to other people that what word do you prefer? Disabilities? Is that,
I don't really care. I just
okay. I try to keep up. I work in this like I work with adaptive disc golf, and it seems like it changes every year. Like what word's okay one year, and the next year it's offensive, and it's
Yeah.
like I can't even keep up. So I just ask people.
Okay.
But are you connected now in your community to other people, not disc golfers, with disabilities, or is your community the disc golf community? I mean, in your friends.
I mean, no, I talk to people outside of disc golf that have disabilities. I talk to them and tell them that if they say they have like challenges or something, I just say, just go for it. No one's gonna stop you or something. Yeah.
Yeah, no one will stop you, and well, that's actually a great way to look at it. Like nobody's out there to stop you, but nobody's going to hand you anything either. It's like you have to
Yeah.
take it.
You have to earn it.
You do have to earn it, and especially when you're an adult, the world's not. I mean, the world's tough, right? I mean, it's tough for everybody. So it's like if you want something, you got to get it. So, do you travel with your dad?
Yeah, I travel with my dad, my mom, and my brother. It's a family thing.
Is it really? Does everybody play?
Yeah. No, just me, my dad. My brother sometimes plays. My mom's not really into it, but
Okay. That's not uncommon. I mean, it's more common now for moms to be into it than it used to be, but it's still not the most uncommon. But the whole family travels with you?
Yeah, the whole family comes with me.
Now, your dad also has something similar, or is that?
Yeah, he has the exact same thing. He just has like one more finger on his right hand than I do.
Okay, and he plays also.
He plays also.
Does he compete?
He doesn't compete. He just kind of plays like league nights and stuff like that.
So was your dad one of your inspirations then?
Yeah, definitely. Seeing him play disc golf, I thought that I can do it.
Hmm. What's really cool about that is you said you played soccer, and that would be the easy answer, I think, right? Like
Yeah.
that I think a lot of parents would probably stop there because it would be safer, maybe.
Yeah.
Like
Probably.
as opposed to introducing your kid to something that might just be harder for them. But he didn't. He said disc golf is fun. You should try disc golf.
Yeah, he said I should try it, and then he brought me out to the course, and then
And you liked it right away.
Yeah, and I liked it right away.
I mean, it's pretty addictive, right?
It is addictive.
I mean, of all the addictions out there, this is one of the good ones.
Yeah, it's one of the good.
So, when you have you ever taught disc golf?
Yeah, I've been doing clinics, and actually, me and Carrie, I think you know who that is. We're actually going to do a clinic for people with, I'll say, disabilities.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I do.
Oh, I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry.
I didn't say anything.
Okay. Well, then, I mean, I want to keep chatting with you just in the future because, I mean, I do adaptive disc golf classes, and one of my goals has been for this to expand beyond me because I'm one person.
Yeah.
I've now done 283 cities, but that's 1,000th of 1% of people that I could possibly reach. I mean, I need more people. So the more you do, let's just, please keep in touch over time because
Yeah, we will.
if you're already doing this stuff, then we could work together on stuff. I would love that if you're into it.
Yeah, I would be into that.
So, Pro Tour, who's your favorite player?
Well, probably Paul McBeth.
Okay.
I like his game. I like the way he plays.
Yeah, go ahead.
I said probably the best player ever to play the sport.
He's certainly in the conversation. I posted a video about him today, actually, on my site. Well, not just about him, but about the best players. When he switched companies, did you think about switching, or Innova's been good to you? So
no, Innova's been good to me. I just stayed, and yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know like how many people would follow because fans follow.
Yeah.
But I think being loyal to a company, Innova's a great company with great people. I mean, being loyal to a company that's been good to you, there's something to be said for that too.
Yeah.
Any other players out on tour you're following, or is it mainly Paul?
Oh, I mean, I follow like Nate Sexton. Obviously, I follow Gannon because he's only 2 years older than me, and he's already
Right.
accomplished so much.
Right. You probably
Yeah.
met Nate, right? I mean, he's in Washington.
I've actually not met Nate. I've actually not met him yet. I'll
Okay.
probably meet him soon, though. I'll meet him soon.
Yeah, because he's not on tour. He's mostly in Washington. You want to
Yeah.
hear a funny story about Nate Sexton?
Oh, yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Ask Nate Sexton who taught him how to disc golf.
You did? Wow.
Well, I wouldn't say I'm the only person, but when he, I take the credit for it because I'm big into marketing. No, when he had been playing just 2 weeks, he came to one of my clinics in Corvallis, Oregon. And so he was a brand new player and he came out to the clinic. And so I'm one of the people that got to be part of that. I mean, a lot of juniors came out to my clinics who play today, like Garrett Gurthey and David Wiggins and
Oh,
Greg
yeah.
Barkley and but that's one of the things that if you're teaching, especially if you're doing clinics, that's going to happen to you too. Like you're going to be teaching kids, and the next thing you know, like 10 years later, they're going to be like, you won't remember them because you meet so many people.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden they're out there playing, and you're like, oh shit, I had something to do with that. It feels really good. I'm not supposed to swear. I don't care. I'm not going to offend you, right?
No, that's fine.
Okay. I know I have to bleep it out because if I leave it in, then YouTube gets funny. So I think that one might slip by though. So you said that putting's the strongest part of your game.
Yes, it is.
I have a question. Would you be able to send, if it's okay with you, I would love to add video of you throwing.
Yeah.
Backhand, sidearm, or putting. Would you do that?
Yeah, I would do all three if you want.
I would love that. Actually, what I would really love if you could do is if you could talk about it on the video and say, look, here's what I do. Here's what works. But also like, here's what's challenging. Like, like if you're always getting wobble on your backhand, or if you used to and figured out how to solve it, would love to hear that.
Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, I can do that.
That's cool, man. Yeah, I'm super happy. I told you this when I talked to you and your dad, because I reached out to to your dad first, obviously, before reaching out to you. And I asked you guys if I could just ask you real questions. Like you're 14. If you were like a little kid, I wouldn't ask such direct questions. But you're 14. You're not a little kid.
No.
And you said you're cool talking about everything. So I think people are interested if you are.
Yeah, I'm interested.
Yeah, I think that one thing that you'll find that is that you're gonna help people and affect positive change in the world, with your openness, because other people can relate, and it matters when people are open and honest. So if you keep doing that, then you make the world better because you're in it. So I hope you keep doing it. You're probably going to get like really good at like 19 years old to become some like arrogant, cocky athlete who like is like too good for press conferences. No, you don't think so?
I won't become that guy.
No, I don't think so either. But I'll tell you what though, if you were that way from like age 19 to 23 and then grew out of it, like that's not weird. Like that's probably like acceptable, normal. But like I hope you don't. But I'd forgive you if you did. Cool, man. Hey, is there anything you want to say to everybody?
Oh, well, I like to thank my sponsors, obviously.
Go for it. Thank your sponsors and talk about the discs you like.
Oh, yeah. I'll thank Invadis, OKDS. I mean, OKDS, my bad. And then I like discs I like Shrikes, my putters, so the Bullfrog. Those are about really the discs that I like. Those are my go-tos.
Are they really? You putt with the Bullfrog? I've not.
I do putt with the Bullfrog. I think they stopped making them. So.
What?
I think they stopped making them. Someone out there find a new putter.
Tell them to run a tour series disc for you.
Yeah, maybe that could happen.
I mean, if no one else is throwing them, that's a slam dunk tour series disc, right? Because like if you were trying to do destroyers, it's like you kind of up against Calvin, right?
Yeah.
But nobody's throwing Bullfrogs. You might have it in there. Or polecats. Like polecats is the easiest one, right?
Yeah, polecats. Nobody throws. I didn't even throw those.
Actually, I just got invited to the Polecat World Championships. It's in San Francisco after the Masters Cup. But cool, yeah. Final question. So, but you said you throw the bullfrog. Is that because it is easier to grip for you?
Yeah, because it has like I actually have it right here, but it's like a really hard feeling in it. I find it easier to grip. So I like the hard putters because I find it easier to grip.
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, you're going to find, I mean, I always tell everybody what I teach is like your hand determines your grip, not you. Like everybody's grip's different. Fan grip, pinch grip, power grip. It's like, it's, you know, it's same thing. The putter you choose is there's no right putter. It's basically, it has to fit your hand. So like, you're no different than anyone else in that area. Like if you got the disc that fits. Hey, I appreciate your time. Hey, can your dad pop in real quick to say hi?
Yeah, I'll go grab him.
All right.
Hey, Dad.
Here.
Dad, come here. He's on his way.
Okay. For some reason, I just assumed he would be like right off camera.
No.
Hello, Dad.
Hi.
Hey, I just wanted to thank you again for letting me borrow your kid for half an hour.
Well, no, I'm glad you actually took interest in him. That makes him feel good. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, well, like you said, I love that he reached out to Jay. You know, the thing that I liked, the thing that sold me on, I'm going to talk to you about you like you're not in the room, Carver, because everyone hates when you do that, but I'm going to do it anyways. But the thing that I liked about Carver was that on his Innova sponsorship picture, he was up in front with his hands when you could have avoided doing that. And I just thought that was it was just cool. And
I agree. I still had my hands at 48 years old. I do. Yeah. I just do. I did it as a kid as well. So to see him embrace it rather than hide it is pretty awesome.
Yeah, well, that's what I connected with right away because I was like, that's an individual that I think has a much more interesting story to tell because Absolutely. They're out there, right? Which is cool. So yeah. I appreciate you, Carver. I think it's very cool. That's it, man. I just thank you so much for your time, and like I would love it if we kept in touch. And when
Absolutely,
Columbia, we'll golf.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we'll go.
Thank you very much, Scott.
Thanks, Scott.
All right, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Okay, take care.